Hello, welcome to question 2 on the 2023 paper 2s. Remember, this is for 2A, 2B and for 2C. Use Online Nation from the preliminary material. So I've just copied it over. We've got a load of words, a graph, load more words, another graph. The sponsors are there. Don't forget the sponsors. But there is so much to get through. So I really hope that in the preparation for your exams, you are looking at your preliminary material. It does make me worry about the 2025 paper because there's not as much stuff in it. So perhaps they'll be asking you to interpret stuff in the exam. But for this paper, we can see we've got a couple of graphs and lots of words. And that's why some of this video I'll be pausing and coming back to you so I can save your time. You don't have to just watch a video of me reading stuff, which isn't great. Okay, so suggest 2 improvements that could be made to the graphs in the preliminary material. So having a look at this first one, I'm going to write my improvements here. We could add some axes. So add axes into this one. And we could also, I think that's the same for the other one actually. It is, we can add an axis for graph 2. Graph 2 not looking very good. And obviously using grid and graph paper. Grids or graph paper, because that helps people when you're reading left and right or up and down to just track the numbers a bit easier. Okay, let's have a look specifically at graph number 1. So we've got our graph here, uses messaging or social media. This is the instance of use of social media and messaging apps by age. So we can see as we go from left to right, as people get older, there is an increase. There's a bit of a drop using chat and messages when you get from 12 to 13, and then it picks up again. But this y-axis is a bit awful. We could just put age at the bottom. So don't repeat the word age. Don't repeat the word age. That's a nightmare. Could also move the values so they're not obscured by the line. So have a better view of the numbers. And the scaling looks okay. The scaling is not bad. Avoid symbols overlapping, which is tough, but they'd probably have to just maybe split the graph into 2 perhaps. Join the points with straight lines. Yeah, straight lines. Shouldn't really be curved. Okay, right, let's go have a look at graph 2 now. So we've got these colours. Oh, I'm colourblind. I'm glad this is printed in black and white. They look quite close together as well, so increase spacing. Yeah, we could simply as well remove the bar for all aged because we don't need it. And then these get darker as they go. I don't understand what this value is because it's not a sum unless it's an average. So I think it's a bit nonsensical. What else have we got here? Yes, we could have even gaps as well. So have even gaps between the ages. So 3 to 4 is a gap that's got 2 years. It's got 3 years. That's got 3 years. That's got 3 years, and that's just all of it. So having like an even space would be a lot better. Right, that's part A done, and there's lots there for you to look at, and they do sound quite basic. Okay, graph 1 in the preliminary material is based on the results of a survey. 35 children aged 7 said they use messaging or social media. Estimate the number of children aged 7 that took part in the survey. So I'm just going to have a look at that one, and then I'll come back to you. Hi, okay, so not too much not too much reading needing to be done. So of these 35 children, if we look at the graph, we've got age 7. The circle coloured in represents users messaging or social media, and therefore that's a 42% value. So 35 children is equal to 42%. So we had 100%, got a value, it's been multiplied by 0.42, and the answer that's come out is 35. So to find that start value, we're going to do 35 divided by 0.42. 83.33. So 83 or 84, but because I want to round it, I'm going to go with 83. So just had a look at the mark scheme. Both answers is fine, 83 or 84, so they're happy with that. Okay, Mark works for a children's charity. The charity is concerned by the amount of time that children spend online. He calculates the percentage increase in the time that children aged 15 to 16 spent online compared to 7 to 8. Here is his calculation, which uses information from the last sentence in the preliminary material. Identify one mistake in Mark's calculation and work out the correct percentage increase. Okay, so I just had a look at it. He has made a time error. So our values in here, we've got the wrong bit, 2 hours 54 minutes, 4 hours 54 minutes. That does not equate to 4.54 and 2.54. So 4 and 54, oh, I need to write that down. Hold on. Let me write that there, 4 and 54 over 60. The mistake is he has converted time to decimals incorrectly. Now, our calculators are powerful enough for us to just put this in. So is it 454 and 254? So we'll check that. It is. Okay. 54 over 60. That's all going to be divided by 2 and 54 over 60. And then we're going to multiply by 100 to get to the answer. So we can put these in straight away without doing any converting. So 4 and 54 over 60. Take away 2. Hold on. Shift and then fraction button. 2 and 54 over 60. That's 2. And that's going to be divided by 2 and 54 over 60. And multiply by 100. And that gives me 68.97%. We're going to round it there. So we're at 2 decimal places. Okay, down to part D. Just 1 mark for this one. Aisha, a radio journalist, produces a report based on the Online Nation extract in the preliminary material. The report used graph 1 to make the claim there are more 13-year-olds using messaging or social media than 12-year-olds. Give one reason why this might not be true. So when we go to graph 1, from what I can remember, yeah, we've just got percentages, okay? So we don't know the actual amounts. So actual totals, I might have spelled actual wrong, are unknown. We only have data for the proportion of those using messaging or social media. There we go. 1 mark. Wonderful. Okay, Aisha commented that the Online Nation extract was difficult to follow in places. Give 2 reasons why she might have said this. You should not comment on the graphs. Okay, so there is lots of options, and it is when we're looking at how all of this is laid out. And I always worry when we've got lots of numbers that are in paragraphs and they're not in tables. So let's have a look at what we could have. So too much information or percentages or numbers or information in sentences rather than a table form. That's the first answer on the mark scheme, which is great. So use tables, too much information in the paragraphs. And that is hard to read. It's hard to sort of figure out. You have to reread everything. Okay. The terms and abbreviations, I'm just going to put abbreviations. Abbreviations are not defined. So we don't know what some of these abbreviations are, so let's go up there and find some. Ofcom, of course, I think we know. Funny, can't find any. Outrageous. That might not be a totally obvious one for you because I can't see that many on there. It's a good generic answer though. Oh, here we are. QP44B, QP44A, whatever they are. Interesting point, that one. Not convinced myself. Let's look at a few more. Fractions written as words. So fractions as words and not in fraction notation. That's annoying. Inconsistent age groups used. That's mentioned earlier. I'll put inconsistent age groups used. And then it also says 12-year-olds to 16-year-olds are ignored in some sections. So lots to pick up on, lots to sort of critique from that. Okay, I've got to be quick now because we've only got 5 marks and I've got 4 minutes to do it. So I'm just going to pause the video and have a read. Okay, so Aisha wants to comment on how much money social media companies make from UK or children in the UK. She finds the following information, which is below. Use the information together with the data from the preliminary material to estimate how much Instagram made from children aged 12 to 15 in the UK. So we've got 24 billion divided by 1.41 billion, and then that will tell us roughly how much money they're making from each person, which is 17.02. We're still in dollars? We're still in dollars. Okay, so that's per user. That's what they're making. Right, then how many kids have we got? 3.2 million. And that's going to be multiplied by, when we go to the graph up here, and it's this graph here, Instagram, 66% are in that age bracket of 12 to 15. So that's going to be multiplied by 0.66 to work out how many users there are. So 3.2 times by 0.66 gives me 2.112 million users. And then that's going to be multiplied by the amount made per person times by 17.02, which is 35.9462 million. But we're still in dollars, so we need to convert this back into pounds. So we're dividing it by 1.28 to 8.083, which means for me it's $28 million. Quick check on the mark scheme. Happy with that. 28 is the answer. Okay, that is question 2 done. It's a long video. It's a long part. Good luck for your exams, and I'll see you at question 3 on all of the various other papers. Bye-bye.